We're Bob and Debbie Sjogren from Richmond, Virginia, and we have had the privilege of homeschooling our 4 children for 19 years.
She did all the work.
Yep, got that right.
We want to thank you for showing an interest in getting Unveiling Glory's Bible curriculum for your homeschooled students and or private Christian school students. We are so excited about this curriculum, and we want to tell you about it. It is already changing lives.
We just received this email a few days ago from a mom who wrote this. I just needed to take the time to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the cat and dog curriculum. It has changed my girls' lives. My second daughter, Esther, is 14. When she first started the curriculum, she hated it. I knew she would because she is just like the cat in the book, and that is what I needed her to realize. After a few months, she realized that she was like the cat and decided she didn't want to stay that way. So she continued doing the study, and we continued praying and encouraging her not to give up. Then last weekend, she finally surrendered her life to the Lord.
Amen.
I was so excited at this answer to prayer that I couldn't turn off the tears. I have been rejoicing and giving God all the glory. Her countenance now just radiates the love of God instead of focusing on herself. Lydia, my third daughter, 13 years old, told me yesterday that she has enjoyed watching her older 2 sisters change so much that she too can't wait to start the curriculum next year so she too can understand and experience God in a selfless way.
As we are already seeing lives changed, we're also excited because this material helps lay a solid theological foundation at such an early age. We found in teaching adults that there's so much negative and incorrect theological baggage that has to be removed before they can understand what it means to live for God's glory. If your student gets this early, oh, how their lives can be changed and how it can save you so much heartache as well. Listen to what happens when a good foundation isn't laid. Did you know that approximately 70% of all Christian high school seniors ditch God when they go to college? 70%. Did you know that 71% of all abortions are done by those who claim to be Christians? Did you know that the average Christian in America tithes 1.8% of their income to the Lord? Did you also know that 80% of all Protestant churches in America are either stagnating or dying?
We feel it is safe to say that we, the church, are really hurting. We want to challenge you that our theology is weak. Although we are in the church, even studying God's Word, many of us are missing foundational theological principles.
This is why we've created this Bible study series with a theme centered on the glory of God. Although it's a heavy theme, we teach it in a fun way. We started off with a joke about the differences between a cat and a dog.
The joke goes like this. A dog says, "You pet me, you feed me, you shelter me, you love me, you must be God." A cat says, "You pet me, you feed me, you love me, you shelter me. I must be God."
This joke characterizes Christian theology around the world today. There are those who say, "I live for God," and there are others who say, "I think God lives for me." And until we can see the difference between these 2 types of Christianities, we're always going to have a large percentage of high school seniors ditching God when they go off to college. Abortions done by those who claim to be Christians and those who tithe a minimum amount. The church is so into cat theology that George Barna says that if you were to walk down the average street in America, you can't tell the difference between Christians and non-Christians. They're both living for the same thing, the great American dream. One goes to church and doesn't swear. The other doesn't go to church and does swear. That's about the only difference. Your student needs to know the difference between cat and dog theology so they can be different.
We want you to know that this material has been beta tested by other homeschool families, and it has a track record of changing lives. You just heard one mom's testimony. That was just one of the many we have received, but we've also seen entire families changed. Please make sure that you watch Anna Louisa's testimony along with her mother's testimony at the bottom of this web page.
To help ensure that your student gets a solid theological foundation for life, we've created 4 years of material for your students. Each curriculum carries the theme of cat and dog theology all the way through it, so it seamlessly flows together. The prices for each year varies, so be sure to check it out on our website. Although they can be done independently of each other, you'll get so much more out of them if you work through them in the order we are suggesting.
We highly encourage you to have not only your students go through this material, but for you to learn right along with them as well. As you can see, there are other videos on this web page. The one next gives you an overview of how each year's curriculum is formatted. Then my husband gives you an overview of each of the 4 years.
Well, thank you for checking this material out.
May God give you wisdom as you seek to raise students who live passionately to glorify God for the rest of their lives.